And we're live. What's up, Gucciverse? We're here to talk about Boba Fett with my three buddies, Saul, Rachel, and Sullivan. How's everybody doing tonight?
You want to try that one again?
Yeah, let's Matt.
I think
One
we
more
can.
time.
We already did that once this season. I don't think we can do it again.
But how about you do the introduction again?
How's
Particularly,
everybody doing here in the Gucciverse?
No. Just the one that you missed.
I'm here with my buddies, hanging out with Rachel, Saul, and Sullivan. Sean Soley, ready to talk about the Gucciverse.
You got those. You got all those right. There was the other one.
Rachel, Saul, and Sully.
No,
we're
but
watching.
Watching the Boba Fett show. We're here to watch the Boba Fett.
I think that's the best we're getting tonight, Sean.
We're here for the Boba Fett review. We're here to talk about episode 4 of the Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. How is everybody doing tonight?
Okay, so I have a question. If he just doubles down on it, is it fine?
I guess. It's not the title of today's episode that we're talking about, The Gathering Storm.
Wasn't that already the name of a Star Wars novel?
Sure.
Probably.
Well, it's a very famous book about Churchill, which is.
I'm thinking of Rising Storm.
Yeah.
Rising Sun?
No,
I don't read the books.
You don't read the books. You don't read the character's name. It's a lot of things that you don't read, but it's fine. We like what you do. You're still not fired yet somehow. We might be having someone here to audition.
Yeah, we're auditioning a new host.
No,
We have an audition for a new host. They
Yeah.
will be here later tonight. We have a special guest that's coming in that apparently I brought in my own replacement, everybody.
I have a question. Is it weird that I'm not looking directly at the camera?
Yeah, it's a little off-putting.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of
Because
people do it.
The camera position, if I put it here, is significantly better than if I put it here, because that's above my head. I got a new chair, and the chair is a different height.
This all sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe you should figure that out before the show, Sully.
No, I've been dealing with this for a couple weeks.
What are you sipping on?
Well, because we have a special guest, I figured I'd class it up, and I have an old fashioned.
Oh, I'm
That is
jealous.
beautiful. Look at that. We have a special
And you
guest,
know what?
and we're here to bring in our special guest because he is my fan favorite, everybody else's fan favorite. The fan favorite, Adam Witt, everybody, is our special guest here tonight. Fan favorite, Adam Witt.
What's up? Who here
Yeah.
likes Star Wars? Raise your hand. I do.
I do.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? It's so enjoyable. Thanks for having me on the show. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, honey. I miss you.
I miss you too. This is great. Hi. Oh, Sean Sullivan here as well. Hello, Sean.
How's my couch doing, Adam?
There? Am I looking at the... No, over here. That way.
It's the opposite
Everything's
of what
flipped.
you'd think. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Ohio Connection himself, Chris Hall. How's it going?Ow's things
up?
in Cincinnati? What's the weather?
So, we're just hanging out, brand the cold, ready to talk about some Boba Fett, ready
Right.
for those
Who?
singles to win. Let's go.
Hi, Saul.
What's up, Adam? How you doing?
Good. Excited. Boy, what a great group to talk about Star Wars with.
Okay, Adam, can you
Yes.
say the name of the show for me?
Into the Gucciverse.
No. The show we're talking about.
The Book of Boba Fett.
Okay, Rachel, why don't you do it?
The Book of Boba Fett.
The Book
Saul?
of Boba Fett.
Oh, Chris did it. I'm so proud of you, Chris.
Thank you.
The Book
it
of
a-
Boba Fett?
No, is it a Cincinnati thing? He says Bubba Fett.
Oh, Boba Fett?
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. Ohioans, do we have an accent?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Yes, but not in that aspect.
Yeah.
Is that true? I thought Ohioans didn't like. They're untouched by accents. I thought they just.
Oh no, they definitely have an accent. It's one of
I've
those,
never
when
heard
you
an
hear
Ohioan
it, you know
accent.
it. It's like Pittsburgh. I can't imitate it, but I know it when I hear it.
No, I know a Pittsburgh accent. I've never heard an Ohioan accent.
Oh yeah, if you get into Cleveland and Cincinnati and Columbus.
I mean, there's a lot of Ohio, yeah, for sure. But
What accent does Saul have? Because he's just got that clean, completely no region specific accent.
did you have to get rid of an accent, Saul?
I have because I speak very fast naturally.
Right.
I'm doing it now. When I slow down, I can sort of grind it down a little bit. When I speak normally, I sound like a day player from an episode of Sopranos.
I
So
thought you were from Kentucky. So
when
confused.
I get that a lot. When I'm speaking, now that I'm thinking about it, I can speak like a somewhat normal, just regular Northeasterner, and not so much some schmuck from Exit 9.
So what were your guys' overall first thoughts about this episode? The beginning of the episode, if we want to start from the beginning on this Book of Boba Fett episode.
Who is making the money for all of the sunscreen that all of these people get somehow? Because nobody has ever tanned or sunburned. I know I bring this up all the time, but he's literally been in the desert and he's totally fine. He's riding around without his hood up. Like, I don't.
Well, Rachel,
who's the sunscreen magnet in the Star Wars universe? I want to know.
Magnate, but part of the
2 suns.
3 suns.
And part of the reason we get sunburned here isn't because of, there is a sun. It's because of the UV rays. The Tatooine suns don't have UV rays.
Oh, take that.
Wow.
Silvestrini.
That's why I asked. I wasn't saying that it doesn't exist. I'm asking, how do people not get sunburned?
Yeah, there's no UV
nobody's
rays
ever
on Tatooine.
Sunburned.
Yeah.
Come back here, folks, for more Star Wars facts.
I absolutely didn't make that up.
Nope.
It's not fake.
It's written in all the books.
Yeah,
It's the first thing they say.
Yeah.
I think
Ultraviolet, that's from our world now.
Yeah.
I think Lee Brackett had that in her first draft of Empire Strikes Back.
I think you're right. I remember reading that when they for the Tatooine scenes, which of course were cut from Empire.
Right.
There was no UV rays back then because it was a long time ago.
Sure.
Right.
They still had all of their ozone. Okay, that makes sense.
Perfect sense.
Okay. Good.
Adam, as you can see, we don't talk about a lot of Star Wars here. We kind of just bullshit about Star Wars. So you're in perfect company.
Okay. I
Adam,
love bullshitting about Star Wars.
This is Dagnino's channel. It almost would feel in poor taste to do a very serious dissertation.
If we stayed on topic, it would not be within the nature of this channel. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
What was your guys' favorite part of the episode? Sorry.
When he got out of the tank and was healed. Like, now we get badass Boba instead of him, fighting for 5 seconds being like, I need to go to the tank. Like, now we get...
I mean, I don't want to... I don't want to do show and tell here,
but I'm gonna.
But I see a white Boba Fett mask, which is the prototype mask, right?
My favorite part of the episode was when we heard this guy's music.
Oh.
Yes, we are jumping to the end.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, that was excellent. Now, as you guys know, and Adam, as you'll come to know, I have very strong opinions about certain species in the Star Wars galaxy.
Okay.
Particularly the Trandoshans.
Right. Bosks.
Yes, they are garbage. Now, watching Black Chrysanthemum physically dismember one was maybe the highlight of my season.
Because you don't like Trandoshans at all.
They're scum, and they hunt children. They're bad people.
He's Trandoshan phobic.
I am proudly.
I mean, it's one of the species you can be phobic of. I mean, screw those guys, right? And also, they're gangsters. Like they own it's like 4 different families owns Mos Espa.
The Trandoshans,
so.
the
Aqualish,
the Hammerheads,
Klatooinians,
The Klatooinians. Yeah, 3.
And then Boba.
And then
Boba Fett, who run in the hut section of things.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, there's a lot of people don't get agency. I mean, what do the Garindans think of all this? Like the whole thing, or what do the Sice Noodles think of? Have the Snoodles weighed in on who's running this whole place?
You know what? We haven't seen a Snoodle, but we've seen a lot of those weird rat things that was in a bikini that one episode. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
It sounds familiar, to be honest.
The things that Sean gets excited about just are amazing. See the rat with the bikini? Yeah.
I'm just gonna put Rat Lady Tatooine and see if we get an image.
I was hoping for Rat Lady bikini.
No.
What about you, Saul? What was your favorite part of this episode?
Well, the senseless and brutal assault on the innocent Trandoshans. I mean, as innocent as a Trandoshan could be. I was also quite partial to the very toyetic scene of the Spray One attacking the Sarlacc pit was something that I feel like I've probably done with a Kenner vehicle before, done something similar to that at the Jersey Shore. Yeah.
So much of this show is like what you would do playing with the toys. And maybe that doesn't appeal to some people who are looking for a different experience. But like as a kid who played with the toys, I mean, one of the beauties of Star Wars is it presents such a packed universe as its premise, so that in Star Wars, you're like, no quicker had you seen Jawas than you're never going to see Jawas again. In Empire, Jedi, or whatever, no quicker had you seen Tusken Raiders than that's all you're ever going to see them. And they only come back as like Easter eggs in the prequels to like, remember Jawas? And then they're moving on. Like the idea that there could be an entire episode with Jawas or Tradoshans or whatever. It's like all Star Wars has led to this by being such overachievers. And even like if you took every creature from like The Last Jedi, you could fill out 12 seasons of a show based on little plot lines that are picked up and dropped to just pack the universe, which is the kind of premise that Star Wars presents. It's not weird to them, much like if someone were walking the streets around here, it wouldn't be weird to see a person with this race or that ethnicity or, all this sort of stuff. That's why Star Wars does it that way, so it just feels like a lived-in world. It's like, oh, we met a Bosk and that's it. I mean, we didn't see a Bosk again until The Mandalorian. And that's how, and that's been like 35 years or 40 years, before we get to see some of these creatures again. So like, yeah, in your mind's eye, in all these years we've had to, think of like what adventures Boba Fett would have. She's in one of the books.
Who is she?
That species is in one of the books. Hold on a second.
What is that face?
That species is in the Force Awakens cantina. Hold on.
Was that like
you're right. You're right.
Before Leia?
Oh God! If
No,
that was
no.
used and Leia put that on, I'm real upset for Leia.
She looks like Weasel from the Suicide Squad.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's exactly what she looks like. And you know what? So when the twins first show up, she's standing there to the side, like looking awkwardly in this like weird bikini.
Sand Rat Lady. I love that they called her that.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
have to
her name is.
rewatch that.
That's
Do you guys?
Oh, first page I turned to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, wow.
What are those?
These are the
Sand rats?
Hask Triplets. Near feral subhumanoids, these Hask thugs are frequently itching for trouble in the main hall of Maz's castle. And that's all they say about them.
She looks like she's itching for trouble.
she looks like
Yeah.
she just makes me itch. Just
So all we have is that these are the Hask Triplets. And we only see...
Hask is their species.
Okay. Yeah.
huh?
First page to turn to.
Weird.
That's why you
but-
don't mix genetics.
Yeah, I love the toy nature. I love the fact that like anyone who would have tried to play with a Slave One toy
Yeah.
would have had
How
the
dare you.
same issue backing it out of a garage as Boba did. And I just love that because he's on his back, right? So he's on his back. He's like, I just can't see like, like what else are you gonna do?
You
Yeah,
didn't have like a review mirror or anything like to help him.
It's kind of an
sensors.
it's kind of an honor to how the design of all the original Star Wars stuff, which and continuing to this day, but like something like the Slave One, which is the coolest ship ever, or the Fire Spray model named Slave One, whatever. But the fact that thing is completely unmaneuverable. All it has to do in Empire is lift up and take off, and that's it. And that's all we ever see of that or whatever. And putting it in these, like the most radical thing that happened in the long time between Revenge of the Sith and Force Awakens is people would release these, as Photoshop became more popular, people would show these like low altitude Star Destroyers or like low altitude, like there'd be these paintings and stuff. That's one of those things of like, the physics of these things should not exist. So the Slave One should not be able to fly at all, certainly. But I just love that they're covering all that stuff and just putting it into absolutely a toy, in a sand pit, like what you'd play. The Sarlacc only came up once in the entire history of Star Wars until this episode. And it's like, there's so much more you could do with the Sarlacc, which they did, Very cool.
So,
Well,
did
so-
you just compare the Slave One to a bumblebee?
Yeah.
Fire Spray is what it's called.
Yeah,
Fuck it,
Rachel, you have a lot of nerve.
I do. It is the only I know names and that I've learned for my lifetime. It's what I'm gonna call it.
Well, so
What is
okay,
the
so
Fire Spray?
there
Yeah.
is, there was one weird, like there was a couple weird Sarlacc appearances in some of the video games, like Battlefront 2. not the new Battlefront 2, but the old Battlefront 2.
Oh, I only have the
For
second
PlayStation 2, right?
The old PS2 Battlefront 2, or the old Xbox, whatever. It had a Sarlacc in the middle of Mos Espa.
Okay.
Really?
Like
Yeah,
just kind of around the, well, it wasn't like in the middle, but it was like just on the outskirts of Mos Espa. There's just a Sarlacc with a crashed sand skiff. So it's like they've used it, but they've used it as like an environmental hazard, not really even a set piece, just like it's there. Like why? I don't know.
Brief tangent.
Yeah, that's
The
what this show
Sarlacc.
is.
Do we like the original 83 version,
No,
or are we brave enough to say the special edition version, though a little wonky with the CGI, I actually think is a superior version?
I think the special edition version with the beak.
I know.
They wanted to add danger. I understand that.
I think it's a smarter. It's a little because it was actually fucking scary in this episode.
When we,
And, like-
when we see it with the beak, the first thing that came into my head was, is this like the grandfather of the plant from?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
Audrey.
you.
Yeah,
Audrey.
Yeah,
similar.
it's the original Audrey.
Yeah.
Like
Launch
all
from
I can
space to
imagine.
Earth.
Right. It looks better with the beak because it's like without it, it's just like we get like a hole, and it's
Yeah,
just
I
kind of
just
like
really
okay, you're
wanted
just
it
gonna
to
fall
start-
into a big hole with teeth.
I just really want the musical number to be put back in of "Feed Me, Jabba, Feed Me." Like that's all I want to
Oh,
hear.
a singing Sarlacc.
It's a Sarlacc
Now
bit
you're talking.
singing to me. Yeah, that's. Can we make
you
that happen?
Speaking of action figures, Adam, and on this show, we usually like to have a catchphrase, and it's "In Dave We Trust."
Oh, absolutely. He's the Lucas Whisperer. He gets it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
He gets it. I love that he speaks fluent Lucas in everything he does. You're like, that is absolutely like, because when Star Wars first came out, it was from such another planet that the sequels felt that spirit. But a lot of times when big movies would get made, then that would be a success. To try and replicate it, they didn't know how. Like Superman 3 shows that you haven't seen Superman 1 and 2. Like that would happen over and over. Like Karate Kid 3. It's just like, I don't know if you guys saw the first two, but to take something as complex as Star Wars and as hard to sequel as Star Wars, for a guy to just get it is like, it's special, and probably only someone of his generation who's come up with it and worked his way into it. But there's so many episodes of the Clone Wars, I forget, like season 5 were like co-written by Lucas, like the stories, because Filoni was such a Lucas whisperer. Lucas was like, I should do that.
With the exception of the first 12 episodes of season 1, because Lucas was doing Crystal Skull,
Right.
Lucas was in the writer's room every single week.
Every season, okay, all right.
Every single week, he was at the head of the writer's table.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that explains the just like, because when you would see Star Wars, when I'd see it as a kid, people would struggle to, define what it was. And I always heard samurai, and I was too young to go, what are you talking about, samurai? I don't even get that. And then when I finally could see the Hidden Fortress, I'm like, I don't get the comparison. But, but then you watch The Mandalorian, and you're like, they took that samurai thing to heart. It was so good.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of, I think a lot of people are misunderstanding this show and because okay, Adam, we need to talk about something. You and I have a shared favorite character.
We do. Boba Fett.
Do.
Greatest
Boba
character of all
Fett.
time.
And I think people misunderstand the direction that this show was meant to go in. And
Well, of course, they're only watching it a half hour at a time. If you only watch Pulp Fiction a half hour at a time, would you get where it's going? No,
No. And I think that they're expecting this show to be The Mandalorian.
Right.
And
which is an unfair standard. That exceeded expectations and tried to be prestige entertainment, widescreen movie in your living room entertainment, and this one's not trying that as much. But that is a gigantic standard to even go for.
Right.
And the reason they went for that is people are like, people are going to doubt that we can do this, that we can put Star Wars in the small screen. So they reach for the stars. Well, there you go. But, and really, and so now they're like, yeah, I mean, this is a tiny interim tale in a way. It's just connecting Jedi to the Mandalorian,
Yeah, well, and with there's been some talk and some rumblings, and I want to see what everyone thinks, that apparently the Mandalorian script was pitched as a Boba IG script.
100% got to be true. because when this is what was so shocking when The Mandalorian happened. They've been trying to make a Boba Fett movie for years. The director of Indiana Jones 5, what's it? Mangold.
James Mangold.
Mangold.
Mangold was going to make a Boba Fett movie, and then they said, nope, Boba Fett TV show. And then he dropped out, and then suddenly they were making a show called The Mandalorian, and I was like, oh, I see. Because you don't have to tell literally Boba Fett's story. In fact, maybe that's too fraught because you have to have this element and that element, blah, blah, blah. So the fact that I called that the Boba Fett TV show for so long, rather than
Absolutely.
Mandalorian. The same way I call all traditions Bosks, but which is why I was so shocked when Boba Fett showed up in Mandalorian. That is absolutely the last thing I would ever saw happening, because this was a Boba Fett TV show. They changed the name, and that way they could go hog wild with the religion and this is the way and all that stuff, because maybe that doesn't fit in with Boba Fett, and it gives them more. So when Boba Fett showed up, and that's one of the best episodes of TV show in my lifetime, I was like, I did not.
Well, the one
even
that
the
was
Cobb
directed
Vanth
by
thing I thought
Robert
was a
Rodriguez.
dodge. Huh?
The one that was directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Was just, I mean, and I will say, I kind of wanted some of that action in this series, and I'm hoping these last two episodes do deliver on that.
No, I mean, and they will.
We're done flashing back, right? Because now he's healed. There's no reason. Like every time that there was a flashback, it was because
we're not done flashing back,
and now he's healed. So but I feel like we're done with
he
vast
will get
swaths of
next episode
episodes.
or episode 6. He'll get hit with a concussion grenade, get knocked on his ass, and he'll flash back again.
Well, we haven't found out how he found Cobb Vanth yet, so that's the next episode. Right. Next episode could easily begin with Cobb Vanth flashback, finding the armor.
We know how Cobb got it. He bought it off of the...
No, we don't know how Bubba found Cobb,
Jawas.
though. We know how Cobb got the armor, but we don't know how Bubba specifically saw Cobb like he was watching it. Remember, he was
he knew
watching
his
him from a
armor.
distance?
Oh,
Bubba was standing on the hill, and then Din went by.
Yes.
And then we don't know. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna
Visual
lead up
example.
right into it, like him watching him, boom, gotcha, bitch.
I did love how they wove into the timeline, where the flashbacks were because of the with the Flash and how we found Fennec. I really, really enjoyed that part. I loved that there was an actual reason why the mod squad was brought into it, because now he knows where to take somebody to get modifications
Right, love that.
That was a nice little tie-in. I refer to them as Joan Jetpack and the Muppet and the Motor Babies.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love them.
Don't they feel like they're straight out of the Droids cartoon? I love it.
They really do.
Yeah.
They really do.
Adam, I'm not sure if you do the comic books, but they feel very Marvel comic-y. If you're following the Marvel comics, they feel like there was a great character in Vader.
Back in the day comics or now comics, because they're very
the
different.
ones that are going on now, which I actually think are fucking excellent and they are consistently fantastic. I mean, the worst one is still pretty good.
I gotta start reading these because I've heard this as well, and I was a big Star Wars comic reader as a kid, and I've just been out of comics for a few years, but I'm like, that's the one thing that's gonna get me back in a comic book store, is I haven't read any of these, and I've heard they're great. Like the Darth Vader comic I've heard is amazing.
There's two, they're on the third Darth Vader series. The first two were about 30-something issues each.
Wow.
Both of them were fantastic. And then from there, you can branch off into Dr. Afra, who you meet in Darth Vader.
I've heard his character.
Blacker Santin, who's in this show, you met him in Darth Vader, and
yeah.
He's so cool.
He's so cool. Oh my God. I didn't see a Wookiee coming. I mean, that's the thing. These shows can always surprise you. I didn't see a Wookiee coming. I didn't see the gangs being Tradoshans and all this. I'm like, this show is just unfolding. We're just so spoiled that some people are complaining, but I don't even know who that is that's complaining, frankly. I mostly see on Twitter people complaining that other people are complaining, and I can't find the complaints.
Look, where's the source of these complaints?
So if you're an insane person like me and follow the Star Wars hashtag,
oh no.
Okay, yeah.
So you can actually add that to your feed. You'll see it.
I don't need to. I got this group right here. I used to not be able to talk Star Wars with anybody, and now I got this group of people and other people in the Schmodown that I'm like, I don't need to go find out what people are saying about Star Wars. Like I didn't talk Star Wars with people for 20 years till I met the Schmodown people, and I'm like, okay, finally I can. You people are on the level,
Yeah,
I had no outlet. I had no outlet for this until I saw Harloff and Knapsack on Jedi Council, and I was like, "This is people are talking about Star Wars like this."
Right.
Yeah, I'm into Star Wars. Just like I got in through my family, and like we go every year, like at Christmas time, and like I got in
it's the
through
best.
Star Wars growing up. But it's just like I'm not in it as deep as they are, but they still watch it, and it's just like I'm in deeper than they are, and I try to like explain stuff to them because they don't watch any of the animated series, so I'm always like really deep and interested. But they watch the shows and stuff, so it's like me explaining someone like, oh, that's this person is always fun to see their reactions and like getting deep diving with them.
Well, I loved kind of on a related note, and I think Adam, you will appreciate this because you are of an age where people you grew up with are probably asking the same questions. My father, after seeing Solo, his first question was, he turns to me, he says, wait, how does this take place before episode 1? Because Darth Maul shows up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to explain that.
And you have to explain that, yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. Here's the thing. I don't have to read who Black Chrysanthemum is. I mean, I watch that as, I'm not a Star Wars novice, but there's corners of the universe that I don't explore, like the comic books and the books. And so something like that shows up and I go, classic Star Wars. Here's a great character, fully formed, just like Boba Fett. When Boba Fett came in, you're like, this guy's got dents all over him. He's got all these symbols and stuff. And you're like, that guy's lived a whole life. And he's only going to get 2 minutes of screen time. That's classic Star Wars. And he travels away and we're never going to see that character or that ship, basically, because he's going to die at the beginning of Jedi, ever again. That is just like...
Buddy.
That is just so Star Wars, and man, what a costume and mask on that guy. Are those his real eyes, or are those?
I think they are. They are on the Chewbacca costumes.
Yeah, the Wookiees usually use the actors who play them usually like Tarful, and
that's usually their eyes.
Yeah,
but they've got all the different expressions around the face and everything. It's a really high tech costume, and he's shot so good because that turn. Like, they make him do that turn over his shoulders, and they do that to Boba Fett, too, which with these expressionless masks, it's amazing what they get out of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian's masks when they, like, do these turns. And I love that the directors are just like, I want to present these guys as such badasses,
Did everybody think he was going to rip off the arms when it got
100%?
If any Wookiee's going to do that.
Crossed.
Same.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Did he rip off 2 arms or just one? Because I only saw
just
one at the ground.
Just the one.
Just one. Is a reference to episode 1. Or, episode 4.
He's not a savage, Rachel. He just ripped off the one arm.
Well, Adam, have you seen... I know Rachel hasn't seen it, but Saul and Adam, and maybe Chris, have you guys seen the deleted scenes from episode 7 where Chewbacca rips off Unkar Plutt's arms?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they've been trying to get that scene in of a Wookiee ripping someone's arms off. They've been trying so hard to get that scene in, and they finally did it.
I love that they reference it all the time.
Well, in Solo,
right? Well, in episode 4, yeah.
Well,
that's because droids don't rip people's arms off when they get upset. Wookiees have been known to do that.
And apparently they do. Now we have proof.
Speaking of Black Chrysanthemum, who I think is going to be instrumental in the Dirty Dozen type team Boba's putting together here.
Oh yeah.
Can we speculate on who we think is going to be on the team? Because I think it's very obviously going to be Din. It'd be weird if it wasn't.
Right.
And then I think But now in the comic, I hate to be this guy, but in the comic, Black Chrysanthemum and Boba used to work together. So I think they're gonna end up back. And I also think the amount of Trandoshan's that we've seen is pointing heavily to we're going to see Bosk.
Oh.
Do you think he's in charge of the Trandoshan family?
I just think it's
I think he's a bounty hunter that's for hire.
Yeah. And I think they're so good at foreshadowing. Filoni and Favreau are so good at foreshadowing. Like they never clobber you with anything. They usually give you little crumbs until you get the meal. And there's a lot of Trandoshans in this fucking show, and it drives me nuts. But I would love to see Bosk.
Oh yeah. And that they look at, because everything else that's treated with such care in this show are things I care about, we care about. Bosk ain't gonna come in and just get shot. Like a Bosk. It's much like IG-11 showing up in the Mandalorian. You're like, damn. Like IG-88 was a legend in my toy collection because obviously he shows up for a second in the movie, just like everything else. But like, of course you could do something with that character, and they did in the Mandalorian. And I'm just like, we are. Because these shows are doing exactly what we love and like we want to see so bad. Like I know we're going to see Dengar. I know we're going to see Bosk. I know we're going to see Forlom and Zuckuss at some point Because it's a Boba Fett TV show now. It's not Mandalorian. It's Boba Fett's world, you know.
Well, I wonder, do we see Cobb Vanth?
Oh yeah, he's got to come back, and they should give him armor.
On Tatooine.
So. I would hope that Din would pick him up on the way, like literally
Possible.
just like not even stop in the main street, just like hover, and he like runs and hops on the back and just like takes off. That's all I want.
And he's got to have his own armor now, which would be cool.
Well, that's what I was saying all last season was I want Din to make his own clan. He was given. I know we're branching off to another show here.
No.
But he was given his sigil,
Not really.
and it's kind of like, okay, you have the Mudhorn. This is your clan. Well, he's the head of that clan.
Is that how Cobb Vanth was left?
Well, no. I mean, Boba was Din. Sorry, Din was given his the Mudhorn sigil.
Oh,
right. So
Yeah,
I'm expecting next season of Mandalorian, Boba's gonna build his clan. Now I'm wondering if we start to see that expedited with
Din.
at the end of this episode. Yeah, Din. Sorry. See, they're the same fucking character.
How dare you?
I mean that in a good
Not
way,
anymore.
not a bad way, Rachel.
In development, yes. Back in the day,
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
And
I wonder if at the end of this season we'll see Din leave with Cobb and kind of say, "Hey, you know."
I don't
Why
think
don't you-
Cobb will leave with him because he's such an Old West sheriff. Like he has a town to take care of. Like he'll leave to go help out Din because he helped him
But
out.
does he need to take care of that town if Boba is keeping the
if,
peace on Tatooine?
if Boba puts it underneath his wing?
Well,
I mean, maybe, but still,
it would be easy to
it's
explain to
so
Cobb that
far
his town
it's
is
so
threatened.
far outside. Although, what if Fennec goes to take over the town for
As a governor.
Sex purposes?
Bob.
You
Jesus
think she wants?
Christ.
How dare you? What's wrong with you, Rachel?
No, she wants.
Hey,
to
real
her
quick,
sex
real
organ.
quick. I do have to interrupt the show for some bookkeeping. Shout out to Joseph Boros, the prince that was promised.
yes.
Yeah.
As the executive producer here on the Gucciverse. Don't fight me on that. Thanks for your
Go
membership.
check the records.
Welcome to the family, Joe. Welcome to the Gucciverse.
Welcome.
We're happy to have you.
I do have a question. Did Boba ever have a pet growing up? Because I don't think he did, because he is so happy and so wonderful with every animal he comes into contact with. Like that Rancor is his pit bull puppy,
Right.
and then the was it the bantha that he had earlier in the episode in the flashback? Okay, first of all, where did he get that bantha? Because all of the banthas that were in the camp when they got attacked were dead.
That
And
was
he
the one
had
he
the
was.
saddle.
That's the one he was riding.
I thought he
when
came
went-
back. I thought he walked back.
No, he was
No.
on a bantha.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, I
you
like a
guys-
bantha.
Do you guys think this guy will show up?
Fucking
No.
hope.
No.
I hope, but I don't think so. I think we're gonna get. I really think we're gonna get, because it's a pay. Because
Next season.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe.
we have. I've got a pretty good. I like to think I have a pretty good sense of how they pace these shows now that we watched 2
Right.
seasons of The Mandalorian, and like how
Sure.
they. And then if you watch the Clone Wars, it's even like they're very similarly paced. And I think these last couple episodes are just. It's going to be very action heavy, and I do
Good.
think.
Totally.
And what's exciting about Bosk is, as a very big fan of the Clone Wars, the character that he is in the Clone Wars is actually one of the best characters in all Star Wars. He's a smart ass lizard man, and Bosk was instrumental in raising Boba.
Mm-hmm.
And when we found that out during the Clone Wars, he was part of that
Yeah.
kind of that sort of tribe with.
I think Dengar was in that too.
Asajj.
It was a couple of the
Yes,
Asajj
it was
Ventress.
Dengar.
Asajj?
no,
not
Asajj.
Not Asajj.
The other.
Aurora Singh.
Thank you.
Aurora Singh.
Yeah, they all look alike to me.
You
sorry.
killed Aurora Singh.
Aurora Singh was was Becca killed Aurora Singh.
Well, no. She was
Pretty
pushed.
sure the fall killed her.
Right? The fall killed her.
Pretty sure the fall killed her.
I think to answer the pet question, I think whether or not he had an actual pet, he probably had an Iowa or an Awa, the Kaminoan pterodactyls.
Yes. Do you think he was friends with the Awa on I forget the planet
Kamino?
name now. Kamino?
Kamino?
Yeah.
I thought Lama Su was his pet.
He was under the control of Lamasu.
Wow.
I still want to choke Lamasu.
Okay, here's a question that I had watching this last episode. Okay, so some people have complained that there's flashback structure to the show, but
Yes.
there's a flashback structure to the show. I mean, because it's not a movie, if you get to the end of a movie and you go, there's a lot of flashbacks in that movie, but you watch the whole movie. So people have been wondering, are we done with flashbacks? We're not done with flashbacks. But what occurred to me this last time watching was, as he sat around the table of all the other families, much like The Godfather, and we know we're getting a mobster style story here to begin with, and we haven't seen a whole lot of space mobster stuff. Like back, they've called Jabba gangster. You're like, ooh, space gangster. That's what one looks like. But that's all it's been explored. These shows are exploring all these things that are just dropped as little things and moved on from the original story. It occurred to me as we watched all the families sitting around the table above a Rancor pit, which was awesome.
That was so good.
It was so badass.
Right.
So
The claws
badass.
coming through. Fuck,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
so
And also the fact that while you're negotiating, all he has to do is open that up and the entire table goes down into it's like he's at the head of the table just off the grate and they're all under the grate.
I was about to say, did you notice that his chair was not
Power
always
move.
like,
Right? What a power move. I'm like, he could move that whole table and everyone drops down to the Rancor, which I hope happens in the end. That's a great way to kill people sitting around that table and wipe them all at once, because
they're all going to betray him anyways, because he's like, they're all looking out for themselves. I trust them to do what's in their best interest, and they're all going to end up betraying him.
yeah.
He's going to have to kill them
Oh
all.
God,
It's
yeah,
gonna be
right?
easy.
And we know what we're headed towards, right? What we want to see, which is what this show delivers, this and The Mandalorian, whatever we want to see ends up on screen. What we want to see is him taking down all the heads of the 5 families at once, like The Godfather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But while I'm looking at the table and thinking of that, it occurred to me, the flashback structure of this show is underrated for being a riff on The Godfather Part 2. Nobody said it yet, but this show is The Godfather Part 2 of Star Wars movies, which Lucas was so enamored by. If I may plug the upcoming Ford Fiesta, which is about more American graffiti, a show that is told on 4 different New Years in 4 different years, because George Lucas didn't feel like he challenged himself enough telling a story out of sequence with American graffiti. But he was prompted to do that by the flashback structure of Godfather 2 from his great friend, Francis Ford Coppola, and often working partner. And it occurs to me that the great Lucas Whisperer would have thought, oh, you know what's a good idea? Godfather Part 2, but Boba Fett.
Now,
And I think that fucking rocks, and that is the advantage of waiting a show out and not complaining immediately a half hour in. I don't get what Pulp Fiction's about. Keep watching.
So,
Adam,
Now,
so
then,
Adam-
so then would his wife...
everyone wants to talk to Adam.
So then would his wife being shot down after their wedding be the Tuscans getting murdered?
I'm not saying there's a one-to-one analogy.
No,
here.
I feel
You mean
like
Michael
that was-
Corleone's
Yeah, in his flashback when he gets married and he gets sent over to Italy. And,
goes over to Italy? It
gets
wasn't a
married, and
flashback.
then
That was the first one, but I see what you're saying.
the chick gets.
Oh, yeah. So in
Yeah.
much like his Tuscan family gets killed.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, that's a great analogy.
Because he finally overcame his background and he's starting to love something
Right.
and
he comes
relief
out a
and
changed
becomes
man
part
out of that
things.
event.
Yes.
Yeah, he comes out a changed man.
I'm with you on this. I got
Yeah,
this.
Well, this
Yeah.
would also. I've been banging this drum since the first episode. I think this is going to. I don't know if this season will. I think this series is going to have a down ending. I don't think
100%.
because I think what we saw is Boba Boba became a part of a tribe. He became somewhat selfless, maybe for the first time in his life. He managed to kind of get over his anger of his father's death and kind of become a Tuscan.
And he
now
was
that-
literally rebirthed. He went through that whole
Yes.
process, whole ceremony. And this is a different guy. This is a guy that's not going to shoot first, like in The Empire Strikes Back. This is the guy that we're about to see very cautiously try and take over the impossible, the mob of Tatooine.
And I think it's going to, and I think
good
maybe
reasons.
even I think the series overall, especially the way it's paced, I think it's going to have a down ending, and he's going to do something kind of ugly. Maybe at the end of the season, maybe he's going to kill Fennec, or he's going to do something.
No.
He's going to do something where you realize because this character was a villain, and I think they're going
Right.
to we like him right now an awful lot. So I think this will have a tragic ending.
But I think Boba Fett has always kind of been not always, but since at least episode 2, he's been this character that's been like, yeah, he's a villain, but he's
It's
a
like
villain.
a tragic figure.
He's a he's a tragic.
That's
right,
new.
he's a villain of tragic circumstance. He's not
He's,
a villain
like,
because he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's misunderstood.
Yeah, he's stuck in a scenario that he has to be.
It's his only reality.
He shot at Luke Skywalker. I don't want to hear it.
They separated the city in Jabba's
Chris-
absence.
So
Right.
Chris is speculating that the 4 other families or 3 other families, is it 3 or 4?
Are
That the other families are still under Hutt control.
okay.
That's possible. I
Well,
don't
the
know.
Hutts certainly seem confident. They're like, we're
Yeah.
taking off. We don't care about doing stuff on Tatooine. Bye. You're like,
I mean,
whoa,
that's
whoa. What a move.
They literally
love
said
the
they had
twins.
debauchery to get back to. Like they're just party kids. That's all they are. Like
Yeah.
they're just like, dude, we got some blow and some hookers to get back to. Like I don't care about this anymore. I'm gonna
Well,
go.
no,
Gucciverse.
That's
Like-
probably true.
Boba called what happens on Now How to debauchery. They didn't call it that.
No, they did.
Right.
No, it was Boba. Boba said there's a debauchery on Now How. He's referring to something. I'm going to keep doing this. It's annoying. I know.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
In
the War of the
comic
Bounty Hunters.
book, in the War
You're
of the Bounty
good.
Hunters, Vader declared war on the crime families, and this is why they weren't. That's why they couldn't show up on Tatooine when Jabba got killed. They were a little distracted.
Okay.
Do we think that they're gonna come back around? Because I just thought it was weird that
Yeah.
like they
I
wanted
do.
to come in on Bubba's turf, and then they were like, "Oh wait, the mayor tricked us." Just kidding, we're out. Like it just seemed a little weird
Yeah.
to me that they
Right.
were so.
They've got something else up their sleeve.
They came on too
Right.
strong and then backed off way too quickly to
Right.
not have something up their sleeve. Like you
Right.
don't just come in like beating drums with Black Chrysanthemum being like, dude,
Yeah.
what the fuck? This is our place. And then be like, you know what? I'm gonna go party. Bye.
And they've
Like,
been in
no,
charge
you
for
don't make
far
that
too
180.
long to let it go
Yeah.
that quick and also not know all the angles.
Yeah. And that,
Yeah.
Right.
that planet is running spice. It's making so much money for them.
Well,
like, why would
I
they
don't know.
relinquish
Real
that?
quick, I don't know that they are necessarily competent Hutts. I think they're the Hutts that are left. You know what I mean? Because after everything that's gone on Nal Hutta, after the death of Jabba, because Jabba was kind of the big guy in charge.
So they're
I
just
doubt
the
that-
Fredos left behind to take care of.
I think
Really?
that's kind of what it is. I think they're the spoiled brat kids of the.
Oh, probably so.
Yeah, and that was kind of the vibe I got. Was they're the rich kids? You know, he's coming in. He's got his arm around his sister. We don't know where his sister's arm is. We don't know if she has another arm.
Stop it!
Go watch the scenes, Rachel. I'm just
I don't
quoting what's on
no.
screen.
I'll
And he's
just
rubbing
stare at
himself
that
with the
thing.
little white gerbil, you know? Like,
Yes.
they are, which is
He
the
was-
best. And if you pay attention,
Absorbing the sweat with a gerbil.
if you
Space
pay
drag.
attention, whenever he's done with one, he just flops it onto the sand. And you could actually, when they go to the wide, you could see it on the wide. But yeah, Chris brings up a good point.
Stays there. It doesn't move.
No. Chris brings up a good point. Rada's missing. Gordula's missing. What Zero? Is that the uncle?
Yeah.
Zero's
these
dead.
Are these all Hutts?
Zero's dead, right? Oh yeah, Zero
Zero died
got
in
killed
Clone
by
Wars.
Snice Doodles. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we don't know where the other players are. We just know that there's these the twins.
The twins.
And they to me, they seem like younger Hutts. They seem like they are the spoiled brats.
Yeah, they're Donald
Because
Trump
most-
Jr. and Eric.
Right. And especially because especially because most Hutts don't, at least in Legends, I don't know what the canon status is. In Legends canon, Hutts don't really work together directly, right? They're very much vying for control over one another. So it is weird to me to see the two of them working together.
Are they twins?
So-
yeah, they're
Well,
twins.
we
Yeah.
call them
Of course-
we call them the twins, but that doesn't mean they're actually twins.
Hey,
We
Chris
also
Clark,
call them
are they
male and
twins?
female. We also call them male and female. Hutts are androgynous.
Are they?
So, yeah.
Because
Do we know
Jabba,
Saul-
Jabba had a
And
hankering
Zorba-
for young nubile.
Zorba had a
females,
great
so.
little. There was a young adult novel in the '90s about Zorba that was pretty good that I read.
Do we
Just
know anything from the current comics, Saul? If are the twins in it at all, or are they new like to the show and in the
I-
universe?
I'm not sure. I also bounced out of the comics for months because I like to let them pile up.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I don't recall them. They could be.
Is there a reason why they're not referring to Black Chrysanthemum as Black Chrysanthemum? They called him Santo.
Well, I think that was a nickname, and I really like that as a nickname for him actually, because they have
Is Santo the nickname, or is Black Chrysanthemum like his wrestling name?
I think Chrysanthemum is his name. I think Black Chrysanthemum is his wrestling name.
So,
But they called him
Chrysanthemum.
Well, they called him right, like just like we have Chewie, right? His full name's Chewbacca, or
Yeah.
Lumpy. His full name's Lumpawaru. You know, right? Like, you know,
I thought his full name was Big K. With
Lumpy.
wrestling.
You don't know Lumpy?
Yeah, Lumpy's my favorite.
Lumpawaru, Chewbacca's only son.
That thing procreated.
How dare
Chewbacca
you?
procreated? Yes.
What?
How dare you?
You
Mala
are
is
special.
Mala is a wonderful woman. She's a great cook.
Did
You
she
can-
have? Did she have the chef and the sous chef words? 'Cause those were probably one of my favorite.
No,
things
she
in
cooked.
the show
She
today.
cooked. She cooked a tip-yip roast all on her own. Okay.
Let's give a
And
shout
you know
out
what,
here to
Rachel? You know what, Rachel? You and I will have to watch this together on screen. We'll watch the holiday special together.
Oh God.
Let's give a shout out to some of our members in the chat. We got Hitman Hudson. We got Joseph Burrows. Some of our full Gooch members in the chat, or some of our Gucciverse members in the chat room today.
They are
hanging out with us.
I like to call as the EP here. I like to call them the moist center of the Gooch.
Don't ever.
This is-
Oh
No,
God,
never.
please, Sean! I swear
we
to
don't
God.
we don't ever refer to them as that in the Gucciverse. We have fan favorite Adam Witt back into the Gucciverse to talk more
Jesus
Star Wars
Christ.
here with
Look what
us,
happens when Adam
ladies and
leaves.
gentlemen.
What did I miss?
You don't repeat it, Sean. I swear to God.
Was there anything
In the face.
Chris, do you want to tell Adam the exact words I said?
Hold on. I'm
Not
just gonna
really.
do this.
We're just gonna blow over that one.
It was
All right, so next point.
Okay, question. So
Right.
did
Oh,
Boba
are we
just
on?
not
Hold on, we're gonna get to
remember
Adam.
finding-
This is my favorite part of the
Well,
show.
hold on. Rachel was saying something.
No, I know. I got to intro this part of the show though.
He
This
does.
is where Rachel asks her questions to the
Well,
experts.
Okay.
Okay.
You're now an expert.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
This is
Rachel
why
asks. There, I did your
Why
theme
I'm
song.
here. Okay, so did Boba not remember the fact that he had the armor on when he climbed out of the Sarlacc pit? Because
I guess not. Yeah.
like, how do you went in with it?
Yeah.
You came
He was
out.
probably severely
it.
concussed.
Yeah, that's the thing. I totally wrote that off because I'm like, dude, he was down there. I mean, who knows what noxious stomach gases you're breathing. He's hallucinating. Like, yeah, he easily could have forgotten that part of it.
But he went. I mean, granted, the concussion would do something to your brain. Obviously, I've had a few, but like, obviously, but when he went in to go check inside the Sarlacc. First of all, after they sent down, what was that? The sonic grenade?
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
That was awesome. What a way to kill the Sarlacc. And think about that, too. They killed the Sarlacc in this episode. Like, that's something from Return of the Jedi was killed in this episode. That's just crazy connection.
fucking awesome.
Well,
With the
and-
weapon from Attack of the Clones. Oh, I love it.
But then
Maybe my favorite moments in Attack of the Clones is that chase scene.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good
Still really holds up very well.
okay, so they kill the Sarlacc, and then he repels into it,
Gross.
looking
Yes.
for his armor, and then comes up totally fine with just having to like wash off the.
Well,
stomach
no, he
acid
has
that
some
Kind of
more-
gross. Yeah.
He had some more burns on him. He had a few
Yeah.
more burns than he did
right,
previously.
but like it wasn't like I don't. Maybe he just really did get hit that hard on the head, but like that kind of took me out of it of being like, but you knew you had your anyway.
Well, so I will say I've had 6 concussions.
Jesus.
I played football for 11 years and
Ooh.
hockey and basketball, and one of them was
Really?
just from drinking. I know, despite my current figure, I used to be very athletic.
Hockey leads to that.
But my worst concussion I had was my junior year of high school. I got knocked on my ass. Long story, the guy cheap shotted me. And when I came to, I was apologizing to my father for not feeding the dog that had died 4 years ago.
wow.
thinking that like before the game I forgot to feed the dog. So you
Wait a minute. You didn't feed the dog and it died?
4 years, yeah.
No, it had died and then I forgot to feed it. Was what my brain.
Whoa,
had
that
told
can't be. That's probably not. If you don't feed these things, they die. Sean, are you sure you didn't?
A little known
you learn
fact.
nothing from a Tamagotchi? Like, come on.
That's heavy.
That's not why the dog died. The dog died because
okay.
we had a toxic palm tree in our backyard that we didn't know was toxic to dogs. So,
That's
fun fact.
horrible.
Fun fact. Know what botanical things you have in your backyard that are bad for your pets. But so anyways, what I was saying was.
Yeah,
What
you
was I
can come
saying?
out dazed and confused. I get it. I've had 3 concussions myself, but like,
I'm missing out on
Once-
this concussion
what-
shit.
no, you're
you don't
not.
want him, Adam.
No, it's
It's the
it's
same.
fucking
I'm
awful.
like, oh, no thanks.
I got two of them from cheerleading in high school. That shit, we went hard. That
Whoa.
was we were competitive.
Did you get dropped or something?
No, someone probably fell
no.
on her.
Yeah, no, I was a base,
Oh.
not a flyer.
Fell on your head.
Absolutely not. No,
Somebody
no,
got dropped and with their foot came down on
my,
your head.
My best friend was our flyer, so we threw her up in the air, and she was doing a twist down, which is when you twist down, and her elbow came out and clocked me right on the forehead because she twisted towards me, and I went to catch her, and elbow straight to the forehead and out like a light.
So many flinging limbs in that sport.
You know,
when I watch that, I'm like, ah.
Yeah,
Rachel,
it's a lot. It's very dangerous.
What you're describing, you will probably love the gymnastics sequence in the holiday special.
Awesome. I'm very excited.
Yes, I
about
believe
that.
she would.
Okay, so another question, and Rachel asks. Okay, so when they sat down, the agreement was that none of the families were going to help Boba, but that they weren't going to aid the Pikes in coming after him.
Yeah.
So they're all just going to sit. Like, how does that make sense?
Well, I think at least one of the families
He's going to go to
is
war
gonna,
with the Pikes.
One
Yeah,
of
and I
them's
think
gotta
at least
betray.
one of the families is going to side with the Pikes.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's what they've set up now, is that now Boba's going to find out if any one of them is aiding the Pikes, and that's what's going to lead to him having to take out all the heads of the families.
And it's going to be the Trandoshans because they're dirty, nasty people.
So who's going to betray him to the Pikes, if not more of them? But I can't imagine a season ending where he is unified all of those people under
unless
him. They've all got to
unless
betray
this
him.
is a one-off. This
They're all
might
dirty.
be a one-off, right? There's a chance. Yes, Hudson, it is a spoiler review. There is a chance that this show is a one-off and not season 1.
Yeah.
It could just be
Yeah.
the Book of Boba, and that's it, right? And if that's the case, you know,
Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2 sounds like a really good second series, but yes, go ahead.
yeah. And I agree, but we don't really know, right? It's kind of one of those things where maybe they do, maybe they don't. They might close this loop, and then the next episode might be him, expanding that border beyond Tatooine.
I mean, if we're not going to get an actual
The hell out of here, Jesse.
if we're not going to get an
Hey, he
actual
didn't even say hi to
gangster
me.
Star Wars movie, at least if Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2 turns into it, like that's all I want. I also am missing I have a very strong need for a Star Wars horror movie, which with all of the with all of the animals and creatures and like, first of all, space is one of the scariest
We're going to get
things
it.
ever.
Yeah, we'll get it eventually.
Like,
Now, what's the best area of the universe to focus a horror story on?
I mean, we could do anthology, and that
Well,
would be
what?
amazing.
Yes, that was something I was saying was
I would think Dathomir with the Night Sisters.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That would be
or
awesome.
or the unknown regions. You could do something in the unknown
Creatures
region.
of Dagobah?
You could do a very alien-esque or a very like almost Lovecraftian story in the unknown regions pretty easily.
The unknown regions. I don't know anything about them.
I mean, Hoth would be great.
Hoth would be great.
Hoth would be a really great
What
one.
about,
You don't know what lives under
Like
the
an
earth.
outpost, like someone at a haunted
Yeah.
outpost, like a bunch of
Yeah.
Star Wars type characters and creatures in like this tiny community, almost like the outpost we're talking about is basically like the Thing, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it
Oh
could
my
be
God,
clone
please.
troopers or something at a distant outpost, like don't know the war's over, shit
It'd
like
be
that.
It'll be the only way that Christian Harloff watches The Thing.
Also,
Yeah.
Who's
how about
Harloff?
going back to the Clone Wars, Umbara, which is a planet that's perpetually in night.
Oh,
I've heard about that one. Wasn't that
Yeah.
in something?
is that in the Bad Batch?
They didn't go in Bad Batch. It's one of it might be my favorite. Depending on what mood I'm in, I'll tell you like a certain arc is my favorite Clone Wars arc.
Sure.
The Umbara arc should have been edited together and put in theaters. It's the one where a Jedi. It's a riff on Apocalypse Now, where a Jedi general loses his mind.
Oh, that's Pong Krell.
Oh, Pong
Yeah.
Krell. Yeah, okay. I've seen one episode of that. I know, but
It's really fucking good.
I love that one.
Have you ever seen the monster from Dagobah that like tries to eat Luke and the
Dagobah would be a good setting, yeah.
Dagobah would be a great setting.
Like that fucking it's so creepy.
Tales of Dagobah.
Yeah.
Didn't they do it Legends with Stormtroopers and there was like a horror kind of
Death
book?
Troopers.
Oh my
That
god.
was a zombie.
Yes.
It was a
Curtis
zombie.
and the-
Wow.
Can we actually get Tales from the Crypt, but Tales from Dagobah? With
Well, so that's
right.
what. So
with Crumb hosting just to get that laugh.
So
Chris-
haunted.
Chris Clark points out they did do that for Lego. They did a Lego Star Wars Terrifying Tales. It's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
Well, I want
and
it,
it is an anthology series.
Is it
like
on
that.
Dagobah?
No, I don't know. I haven't seen
several
it, but I know
several
it's,
locations. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I want like practical effects. I want
Well, a
all
good
of,
one-
like, the
I think a good one
crazy
you could do-
monsters. Like it's gonna be so good. I just want it.
Here's my horror pitch. I want a slasher film,
Okay.
but Black Chrysanthemum or
Oh.
someone else is your slasher, and it's told from the point of view of his bounty victims.
Don't do that to my baby.
Well, a slasher
Perfect.
film, you would have to set up, 12 kids
Yeah.
going somewhere out in the middle of nowhere and take them out one by one, right? Or 10
What kind of
lesbians.
kids? Are we just counting like? Is it going to be like all different species?
It would be like
hunting?
It would be like the
If-
Mod
yeah.
Squad. Mod Squad, but like with all different races. Yeah, I could go for that.
like Baby Yoda races.
No.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Rach, you could do comics.
Yes,
Oh, for sure.
that is a
All right.
great series.
Rachel, we know you're not in the main studio today. You're in Studio B.
I'm in Studio B today.
Studio B, well known for this show, and if you go watch some Schmoedowns, you might catch Studio B somewhere. Why don't you go ahead and pull a book off the Studio B shelf?
Oh, okay. Let's blindly
Randomly.
grab a Star Wars. All right, so I got Star Wars Aftermath Life Debt.
That's
by
a great.
Debt.
Wendig.
That
Nope.
now, Rachel, that's a great book, and not only is that a great book, but Lumpy is in it.
Oh.
Lumpy's in that? Lumpawaru?
Lumpawaru has a so that book has these little asides in it.
When did that book come out? Between what
that-
movies?
That came out right after episode 7.
It says the Emperor. Literally, it starts off with the description: the Emperor is dead, and the remnants of his former empire are
Okay.
in retreat. So,
So
yeah.
that's set about a year and a half after
Force Awakens?
after
Before Force
Endor.
Awakens.
Endor. After the Battle of Endor.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Oh,
Battle-
okay. Oh,
No. It's less. It's like 6 months after Endor.
Oh, okay.
That's canon,
it's
right?
It's Han helping
That
us
is
get back
canon,
to
yeah.
Kashyyyk.
Yeah.
So okay.
And there is a like a little aside with Lumpy on Kashyyyk. So
Rachel, are you in Sean's house?
No, I'm still in
PJ's
Arizona
house.
at PJ's.
Oh, okay. So this is
do I
broadcast
need-
room B at PJ's.
Yes, this is the downstairs library. So do I need to read Aftermath before I read Life Debt?
yeah, read Aftermath. So Aftermath is the tale of Temmin Wexley.
Okay, I like Wexley.
Snap. Wixley.
Yeah, you may know him as Snap, and his partner in crime, Bones.
They are pilots.
Well, now
I
they're just
believe,
ripping
correct?
off.
Well, Bones is a repurposed B2 or a repurposed
Damn it,
B1
Chewbacca.
battle droid. Bones is a repurposed B1 battle droid that's decked out in animal bones, so he rattles when he moves.
That's
and
awesome.
And Temmin uploaded him with a dancer, like droid dancer. I don't know, databanks or memories, and also uploaded him with Grievous and clone and droid commando battle tactics. So he's this crazy murder droid.
That's a good name for him.
I could definitely go with a crazy murder droid
CMD
as a
215.
slasher.
What's CMD?
And
stand
nobody
for?
suspects. Oh, that'd be so great.
Crazy murder droid.
Speaking of battle droids, did we see the super battle droid hand in the mod shop?
We did.
Yeah.
I was wondering what I had seen that hand before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that they just shoot at. Yeah. So
I
it's-
really like.
Okay,
I really
so-
like the rat catcher.
Let's back up here. Does Fennec just fall from space? What happens there? Because Boba's sees some explosion come out from
that's
space.
that was when they're in the desert and
The first episode of in
Din
Mandalorian.
Din is going out with that like rapscallion new hunter, and they go to the desert to get Fennec, and they're shooting the lights off to blind her from her scope.
Oh,
Right? Did I get that right?
Yes,
yeah,
you
he's
did.
shooting off the flares to blind her scope, and then Din shoots her. And
Oh.
then at the end of that
Din
episode,
sneaks behind her.
we hear the spurs of someone
we
walking
see-
up to Fennec, and everyone went, "Oh my god, it's Boba Fett!" And when they reshot that scene, they did not include the spur noises.
Yeah.
I did think that was strange. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was kind of listening for it. I was like,
but yeah, that's from Mandalorian season 1. I think it's like episode 4,
wow. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
maybe episode 6.
I'm excited to go back and watch them all.
Yeah,
Yeah. As
But
soon as
here,
I saw
real
the
quick,
light, I was like, I know where we are.
we'll
Oh,
be real quick do the Sean shares his screen thing again. Here's Mr. Bones. He's lovely.
Oh.
See, he's got a knife for a hand. Everyone needs a knife for a hand.
Oh.
Looks
Yeah.
like Darth Maul, kind of.
Wow.
What book is this guy in?
This is from Aftermath.
Okay.
I'm
This is-
tempted to do a custom.
Does he
I'm tempted to
have
do a
a hand on
custom.
the outside that spring-loaded hinge?
Do you do
Okay,
customs,
there we go.
Saul?
Yeah, Saul does customs.
I do for my own.
Oh, that's fun.
Enjoyment.
I'm gonna cosplay as him next
That's a
time. I go to
cool.
Comic-Con.
That's a cool battle droid.
Saul, let me know. I could send you bits for the sight and the blade.
That I would have to mold new parts though. That would be tricky.
Well, but I might have some stuff that'll fit a 6-inch if you're doing a 6-inch for an arm blade and for a sight for a
Yeah.
I might
Do
have-
you
Well, the head I would have to do. I don't know what I would do for the head. That's
Yeah.
interesting. That's an interesting challenge.
get a 3D printer, man. That must be a game changer for custom action figures, right?
It is.
Oh yeah.
I'm
100%.
trying to avoid everything about 3D printing because I know it's a rabbit hole that I will.
Yeah, but you would be getting it to make small things like this. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard the rabbit hole is if you're like, well, why don't I print a new
Do it.
transmission for my '76 Chevy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Or as soon as you want to do a full action figure 3D printed, that's the issue.
Well, I could.
But you can
mold-
print them with the joints already twistable and everything, and they print
Yeah.
inside the joints and everything. It's kind of nuts.
Sean, I could teach you how to mold and cast an action figure in like a weekend. It's
Well,
not that
man.
hard.
Really?
It's not. I mean, it's not that. Especially like if you wanted to start like with like a 5-point articulation one, like I could teach you how to do that like in a Saturday with a couple trips to the hobby store. Like
Man,
Yeah.
they've already made
Well-
so many action figures that I would choose as custom action figures. I kind of wonder now what would be the action figure I that hasn't been made, like Moon Knight and stuff. All that stuff's been made, but back in the day,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it'd be cool if they made a Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Right.
And now you can just go buy it.
But
Go
now
buy
it's like,
the,
yeah,
Right.
if I had access to making a custom figure right now from Star Wars, I guess, like
go
what
buy
would
the
it-
Marvel Legends Moon Knight, you know.
well, my
Yeah.
favorite customs are when
So
it's not like
expensive now.
it's not like a complete rebuild. It's just when I fix what they made. Because they love to, because the molding and casting is like is so incredible now with action figures, but the paint apps still suck for whatever reason. So I
Oh,
can get
yeah.
in there with a brush, and like that to me, it's even more rewarding sometimes just to do those little jobs that like you turn something that looks good into something that's great, or what I think is
I'm
great.
Become a member today for all the inside tips on painting models.
Now
Yes.
listen. Okay, well hold on. I have to obligatory plug. Yeah, you could become a member here for that, or you could subscribe to my Twitch channel where I do all that on there.
This is true.
I'm just saying.
Follow in the
but-
description. Follow the Twitch.
But I will say, Adam,
Yes,
you and I are both in. I mean, we're in LA area.
we are.
Why aren't you and I building our own Mandalorian suits?
Oh, because we've not broached the topic till now. I would love to wear in my everyday life. In fact, last season in the Schmodown, I was wearing a futuristic pauldron from a post-apocalypse because I've always just wanted to have that be my dressing style, and I use
Yeah.
it as a character thing. But yes, walking around wearing Mandalorian crap with my everyday life, like just having a gauntlet. I want gauntlets. Let's make gauntlets.
Adam,
And there's that foam that you can, heat gun.
Yeah, Eva foam.
It's EVA. It's EVA foam.
We need the EVA foam.
It is an incredible.
Well, so there's an issue
what
with
you
that.
can do with that is incredible.
There's an issue with the Eva foam. So if you want to get a provable by the Mandalorian mercs and get a cool biker jacket out of it, you can't.
I don't know what
use
you're
Eva
talking
foam.
about. What language did you switch to?
So there's the 501st, which is the Stormtrooper cosplayers. There's another one for Mandalorian cosplayers, specific for Mandalorian cosplayers.
Oh,
But one of
I
their
didn't know
rules
that.
is you can't use EVA foam
interesting.
because it has to
That's
be
weird.
it has to be hard like Mandalorian. armor.
Right.
And EVA foam isn't hard.
I get it.
Oh, you can use Warbler. Warbler is something it's
yeah,
a
you
little
can
more
use-
advanced.
That you
What's
use
this?
Warbler or Sintra. Which is,
Sintra- Yeah,
Yeah.
Sintra you could use.
Sintra.
Which is the techniques are the same.
I love this conversation, but we're losing the audience, guys.
Yeah, we are.
Nah,
yes, we
they're
are.
fine.
Adam,
They're
I
used
just,
to it.
I just want the next time I visit, I just want to walk down to the bodega with you in full Mando costume.
Oh.
Just
I
wanna
just
see you
want
walk
like
into
a
shoes
shoulder
like-
pauldron and little
Well, yeah.
accents that I just wear with my jacket or whatever. And like,
That'll be fucking amazing.
yeah,
I'm curious to see what the
I want to do that very badly.
what turns Finnick's attitude from just along for the ride, like at the end
To
when
fighting
they
for the
show her,
cause.
because they're like, she was like, yeah, like if I do this, then my debt is paid, and then she just hangs around with him. But then like immediately after that, when they go to help Din with the battle where the kid makes his like ET phone home Jedi call, she says that she's in a life debt to him.
Yeah,
but
right.
She's not anymore.
No.
Well, unless there's two possibilities with that, right? So possibility one is that she later decides it's a life debt. Possibility two is we haven't seen. Oh no, that's not true. This takes place after. Never mind. I fucking lied.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
one of the
she literally
flashbacks we might see
They-
the life debt in one of the flashbacks.
Well, no, because like when he asks her what the life debt is, she literally lifts her shirt and shows the mechanics of her stomach.
Oh,
Yeah.
he saved her life.
Because that's how we know, like, because when she came back, all we knew was that the last we saw her, she got a gut shot in the desert and was left for dead.
Yeah.
So she
Well,
shows it
that's-
saying, "Oh, he fixed me," and that was the life debt.
So I could rationalize that a little bit. I think in order to give a life debt to someone, you have to know that person is going to respect that life debt. Right?
Fair.
So when she first realized, oh, this is Boba Fett, everything she knows about Boba Fett is that he's a notorious bounty hunter, right?
Yeah, like her.
But in invading Jabba's palace or Bib's palace at the time, she learns, oh no, this is a man with feelings and who's honorable and has some compassion or some a little bit, yeah. At least loyalty, right? He says he can offer her loyalty.
Yeah.
So that might be when she decides, hey, yeah, I'm going to consider this a life debt because,
Well, you can hang.
Whatever.
You can swear fealty to somebody without rescinding your life debt or claiming. It's a
yeah,
life
but
debt.
everything we
Just
know,
stay and be loyal. Don't make it like a duty.
But everything we know about a life debt is that it is a duty and that it is something that is like
It's
you
like
are-
sacred.
It is sacred. Yeah, exactly. So
Right,
Well, I think we're missing the obvious subtext that this is purely sexual.
I was gonna say he looks so good. Why wouldn't
Yep.
you want to bang that?
well, I
Lean
think
down a
they're the
little bit.
same.
She's
I
always
think they're
in
the
her
same age.
chambers.
Mhm.
Who cares? He's hot. She's stunning.
How many
it is-
Gucci heads?
Hot bounty hunter baby.
It is nice that very few characters in this show are younger than like 40.
Yeah, except for
Right.
the
Ain't
Mod
your
Squad, pretty
daddy
much.
Star
Yeah.
Wars? Or is it?
what?
What?
What'd you
What
say?
was the
Chris?
question?
What
I
was
said
that,
this
Chris?
ain't your daddy Star Wars, or is it?
This ain't your daddy's Green Lantern. We're gonna make it different as Green. Oh, that was a joke from before we started recording.
Oh, I thought we made that on camera.
No. I was before we started the show. I was making fun of DC and their haphazard, what I called the too soon grab for the breast on the first date of how they put all of their universes together.
AKA Rachel's 20s.
Yeah, Marvel takes 12 movies to
sounds
get to
about right.
Avenger, or 26 movies to get to Avenger Assemble. They put out one movie and they're like, ready for Justice League? Huh? Huh? Who wants Justice League? Huh?
Well, is there anything from this show that you guys want to wrap up? I think we're about wrapped up with this episode. Is there anything you guys want to talk about specifically from this episode?
Here's how easy I am to please from the Book of Boba Fett. First of all, I never thought I'd see Boba Fett do anything ever again. He dies in Return of the Jedi, and you go, hey, man, the candle that burns twice as bright, baby. Then they're going to develop a Boba Fett TV show, and that goes south. And then they create The Mandalorian, and I go, oh, well, obviously we're never going to see Boba Fett, this new character. And then, lo and behold, Boba Fett returns and then gets his own, and then ends that show with the tag of taking over Jabba's throne. Like this, thing we never even thought of from Jedi. Nobody left Return of the Jedi going, well, who takes over Jabba's throne? And then 35 years after Jedi, nobody's posed that question. And then they give us this adventure of well, what if it's such fan fiction. Well, what if Boba Fett took over? Oh my God, what would happen? And we're seeing all that stuff happen. But here's how easy a mark I am for anything in this movie. The shot of the Slave One, the fire spray thing, in front of the blown up Jabba's sail barge, and then Fennec and Boba Fett sitting by a fire. That shot, I'm just like, Star Wars people doing Star Wars people shit, man. Just sitting around a fire next to Jabba's blown up sail barge and the Slave One, just rough day. Let's sit by the fire and talk about the world. Star Wars people doing Star Wars people shit. That's what this movie is constantly. I just love it. So
Yeah, the series is very much Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau and George Lucas just sitting on a carpet playing with their toys, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. And they all are in agreement with each other. You can't read any there's obviously some disagreement on how to tell this tale.
No.
No, they're all yeah. I mean, you can see them all. If you've ever read the transcript of the writing of Raiders of the Lost Ark, you can find that online. It's Spielberg, Lucas, and Kasdan all in a room pitching the idea, and you get to hear Raiders of the Lost Ark pitched when you read it. The audio tapes never surfaced, but I could just see that with Dave Filoni and Lucas and and Favreau doing the same thing. Oh yeah, and then he's called what? Ooh, and then we'll do this.
It's very yes and.
Right.
It's oh, that's cool. Yeah, and what if we did this? Yeah, that's awesome. And what if we did this? And wouldn't it be cool if we did this too? And I'm like, you guys made literal watermelons in the desert, and that made me giggle because it took me 2 episodes to get the joke. But I loved it, and it made me laugh so hard. I love this show. It's just so much fun. I'm along for the ride.
What Adam brought up is interesting because in the making of Return of the Jedi book by J.W. Rinsler, there is extensive notes between Marquand and Lucas and Kasdan, where their entire story conference was someone took notes on, and you can
transcribed.
Read most. Yeah, it's incredible.
Wow!
And I can't recommend anything J.W. Rinsler has written about Star Wars.
I've read Star Wars and Empire of Rinsler, but the one I don't have is Jedi. That's a good reminder that
It's exciting to read it, and when you hear George pitch Lawrence and Richard that this whole thing's been about Darth's redemption.
Man.
It's kind of exciting to read that when he drops it on them, and Kasdan's like, "Fuck, I didn't see that coming."
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, thank you for the reminder that I don't have that book, and that's the one I got to read. Yeah, because I really do feel like rereading those books again. They're just incredible.
Oh, they're my favorite Star Wars things.
Can't believe something that thick exists, telling every detail of those movies. It's awesome.
And if you like Rinsler, and everyone should, he wrote 2 great books on Alien and Aliens, but he wrote the making of Revenge of the Sith, which he was implanted at Lucasfilm, and he wrote it as a diary. Everything that happened in the production, he was he was with the art department a year before shooting started.
I have heard of this book.
It's just.
But I know it was Rinsler, and I didn't know it was
right you can get it on eBay for the price of shipping. It's one of those books.
Wow! All right.
It's very inexpensive. It's very easy to find, and it's fantastic. And he was in the attic at Lucas's house with the art department, and for a year before shooting starts, every day he's just today we designed Grievous's fucking head. It's really
that's special.
Okay, I think
absolutely.
Yes.
I very hyped. Very hyped.
Nobody even had that idea. That's the most badass image of all time in my head right now. Boba Fett riding a Rancor. Nobody even thought about that.
I mean, I just want to see.
It's a very badass image.
I want to see him down in the pit
good.
after he feeds the Rancor all of the heads of the family, and just be
Right.
like, "Who's a good boy?
Who's a good
Who's a
boy?"
good boy?" And
Oh, I
just like
love that.
belly rub. Like that's literally the image in my head. And then
Zero
him being like,
mythology.
"Hey boy, let's go!" And then hops on his back and rides off into the sunset.
I
That's what
want
the show to
the
end.
Rancor to eat
Yeah.
Bosk.
All
In,
right.
pieces.
I'll let him eat Dengar. You
Let's-
save Bosk. We're gonna need Bosk.
Let's get to, before we get too far off here. Go ahead,
Adam.
Adam.
No, I just occurred to me one of the great things that this show can exist for the very first time viewer and just watch it and go, wow, what is all this stuff? What's a Rancor?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing we said in Jedi. What's a Rancor? If someone was coming in brand new and was like, let me check out this Disney Plus TV show, I don't even know what it is, Boba Fett. Like, whoa, what's a Rancor? You know,
I love books.
I love books. I'll watch this. But one of the great legendary things is that there was the Rancor Keeper in Return of the Jedi, and what the big giggle in the audience was the fact that some guy would be very, very sad about the passing of this thing, which obviously it was his pet, but it's a big thing that just tried to kill Luke. So everybody just laughed at the guy, crying, the Rancor Keeper. And then they made a Rancor Keeper action figure for whatever reason.
I had it.
I can.
Right, I never did. I had
like. Okay, but
Yeah.
Adam, but I didn't have any of the cool ones. I just had Malakili and 8D8. I didn't have anything like
Right.
I had a land speeder and a TIE fighter, but I didn't have any of the cool action figures.
Your parents did not go to the store early, because I remember it late in any series, like long after Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi had exhausted it, you go to the store and it would just be Prune Face and Rancor Keeper and like Imperial Guard or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all you. Lots and lots of R5D4 at the store
No
long
R2D2.
after they'd sold out of everything else. Yeah, exactly.
And you know
Now
what?
we can get
The
a
R2 when
Danny
I was a
Trejo.
kid, the R2 when I was a kid had a real
That was
nice
my point,
chrome, all right, so
But the fact that that this is a legendary character because there was Malakili, the Rancor Keeper, is kind of in legend for us nerds. The fact that an honorary new Rancor Keeper is going to be Danny Trejo is just so good.
now, Adam, I asked Rachel this trivia question last week, and she didn't get it, so I'm hoping you can get it.
Ralakili
Ralakili. Okay,
is
great.
the answer. Yeah.
Played by?
Ron Howard's brother, Clint Howard.
Correct.
Yes.
See, Rachel?
Is that what you were going to ask?
Yeah, that's exactly what I asked. All right.
That's even better. I literally guessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Adam, you and I think the same on Star Wars. All right.
That was so great.
So before
I
we
even
get
got
too
the follow-up.
far, before we get too far, one more. What
I have
film?
one more thing.
Oh, go ahead. Well, no, we're not done. I just
Not
want to
done
get
in
this out of
okay,
the way.
so I have one more thing
No,
about Book of Boba Fett.
No, then
Go
we
ahead.
get to ramble. We got to get the professional stuff out, then we'll ramble.
Okay.
Chris,
this
how
hasn't
many-
been rambling to anybody watching.
No,
I was
no.
about to ask how many Gucci heads
Chris,
would you
how
rank
many
this
Gucci?
episode?
How many Gucci? Chris, how many Gucci heads?
How many Gucci heads do I rank this episode? I rank it 4 Gucci heads. Out of
How many
5.
total Gucci heads?
Out of
5.
5.
Total, 4 out of 5 Gucci heads.
Rachel,
I'd say 4 out of 5 is a pretty good ranking
Saul?
for this one.
I'm going to give it 3 3/4.
3 3/4. Adam Witt.
Let me just say the image of the Slave One coming out of the desert sky behind a biker gang, as this biker gang's going through the desert in speeder bikes, and behind them you see the Slave One slowly coming up, and then it overtakes them and shoots down everybody in this biker gang, as Boba Fett's like, yeah, that's what you get. Like the meanest, absolute killer of Boba Fett. That image right there, absolutely a 5. But I'll say 4 under the assumption that this TV show has more left in its barrel, which I think it does.
All right. Well, okay. Now, I don't know how averages work, but I know I only have one graphic per.
Take
per
the number
prep for the show.
of stats and divide it by the number of stats you have.
Sounds like a lot of work, though. So I'm going to say 7, just so we can get our average right. 7 out of 5.
7 out of 5.
If one of our techie people can full screen me, we're gonna give our reveal here on the score. Average score 4.5 Gucci heads out of 5.
Perfect.
Because that's the only graphic we have prepped. All right, we can.
And Mannequin 2 got 3, right? I just want to figure out what the standard is.
Yes, Mannequin 2 definitely got 3.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I
Yeah,
was,
think we're on point.
This is the only graphic we have prepped.
How did you get the flame transition? Are you doing that in StreamYard?
I'm in OBS.
Oh, you're in OBS, guy.
I always run my camera through OBS because if I don't, my camera looks. Here, actually, I'll show you. Let me see if I can this is what my camera looks like without any post processing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oof.
So
is there?
I think that about post processing here.
But I think that about. Is there anything else you guys want to say about this episode of Book of Boba Fett? Or you guys need? Is there anything
we're gonna ramble for a bit about Star Wars Book of Boba. Look, this is a very special episode. This is probably also our highest viewed episode, Chris.
100%.
I also want to address the elephant in the room. The name of Boba Fett's ship.
The Ephon's man in the room.
The only thing dumber than changing the name of Slave One is fucking complaining about it. It's silly that they changed it, and it's fucking stupid to be angry about it.
Okay,
they didn't change it. They just didn't say the name of the ship.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
I don't like.
He gave the model of the ship.
Right.
I'm gonna hop in my T-170. Why didn't he say X-wing? I mean, nobody was gonna say that. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I get it.
I'm gonna hop in my T-85. Oh, they changed the name. Politically correct.
Not saying Slave One. It's a bit much. I think the word wars is way more offensive of a term than slave. And it is silly that they're doing this. But like getting angry about it and making YouTube videos where you have a fucking made a thumbnail with Kathleen Kennedy with a clown wig on. Just shut up. Just shut up.
Try writing a whole episode of a Star Wars show, you fucking expert. That's what I say to that guy.
Yeah,
where's his movie? How was his movie? The guy that created that GIF.
Yeah.
They didn't raise enough on GoFundMe.
Oh, they didn't. Oh, he didn't make a movie. Yeah. Okay, I guess he doesn't know that that's hard.
Yeah.
And that's where you heard it here, folks.
The thing that we didn't talk about is Jennifer Beals' professionalism.
Right.
For talking down
so great.
Black Sandin.
So
oh my
good.
God. She could end all of the wars. Just
right.
put her in charge.
And she just gets a little bit in each episode that you see that she is great.
I love her. I love that cantina.
So good.
That whole vibe in that cantina is just so good. Like,
can we go drink there? That sounds
the Rex series droid with the fucking casino visor on.
Yep. And we got confirmation that it is Max Rebo because it wasn't that the first time that they actually
she called him Max.
Turned from Max, and I was like, wait, you said the thing.
But what I want to know is if that's Figure and Dan.
Christ, I'm still streaming.
No, you tell him to get over here. Tell him to get over here.
Is that Campbell?
Yeah.
Campbell.
Get birthday boy over here.
No.
Happy birthday.
BJ
Campbell.
He can't hear you.
I know.
So I want to know if is that Figure and Dan or is that the Bith whose name I don't know from
That's the one from Jabba's Palace, I would assume.
Well, and here's why I think it's Figure and Dan, because in the first episode, they're playing Mad About Me. They're playing the Cantina Band song.
They are?
Yeah, they are. They're playing like a calypso Spanish guitar version of.
Yeah, but that might be a standard on Tatooine.
Sure, we don't know that that's a. Yeah. We don't know that in canon that's a.
But you're saying Figure and Dan would have split from the modal nodes, like a Emilia Estefan,
or like
Gloria Estefan. Emilio Estefan.
Is there anything that Disney Star Wars won't destroy? They broke up the modal nodes.
We don't know. Okay,
now this is something worth getting upset about.
No, but let's talk about this like the big old Star Wars nerds we are, right? We know that Mos Eisley isn't having a very good time. Mos Eisley isn't seeing a boom; they're seeing a bust, right? Mos Eisley is dead. Cholman's doesn't have any business. There was no band playing at Cholman's. So if the modal nodes didn't have any business, and fucking Max Rebo of all people says, "Hey Dan, come play with me come play this contract gig. I've got a residency at
Hey, my master's dead. I had a solid gig at Jabba's Palace. That's ended.
You could do better. You could do better than Cholman's. Come on, come over to.
Max Rebo was lucky he turned down the gig on the sail barge because no band was on there, but they survived.
He on the sail barge?
He's definitely on the sail barge.
Is he?
Yeah. So was Bib Fortuna.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But see, it might have been abandoned ship at that point. Like, it was chaos. Right. Like, even Hux is gone! Like, I could see that with going for everybody on that ship. Like, let's get the hell out of here.
They didn't want to film that. That wasn't filmed. That was off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only person who died on the sail barge was
Yeah,
Jabba.
I'd watch
and
that show.
That had nothing to do with the explosion.
Right. That's going to be an eventual show. Escape the sail barge of Jaws.
Escape from the sail barge. What happened to all those people? Well, I've always said, patent pending copyright. Nobody's allowed to write the story but me. I've always wanted to do an entire movie or something about what happened to all the droids on the Sandcrawler after the stormtroopers killed all the Jawas, and they just started wandering the desert. They did a whole show.
It was like
Now, Adam,
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern
they-
with robots and
Now, Adam, they
sand?
make action figures for all of them, right?
I know.
So
It's a
why
really
don't-
motley crew.
So,
It's-
Adam, why don't we do that?
yeah, all right. You want to do it with toys?
Yeah.
We could probably build them in Unreal.
Oh, I'm sure we could.
All the environments would be in Unreal. They all look like Tatooine.
Well, and I'm sure someone already has a Tatooine environment we could download.
Oh, I bet they
Yeah.
do. Of course they do. Oh, okay, let's do it.
I'm building a volume in my garage, so you guys could swing by.
Perfect.
No, it's not-
Ooh,
it's not
nice.
I want to be the big
Hey man, you
round
tighten
one.
up any camera to a LED screen, it's a volume. You know, it's like
I want to be the big round one with the arms coming out.
yeah,
like-
the R1, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's R1 something, R1D5 or something.
Let's find
Well,
out.
Yeah, and the little dome, the little
No,
mining
that's a different
droid
one.
dome thing, the little treadwell with the two eyes. Beep, 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 beep.
Oh,
Oh,
I
and my
love
favorite
the
one is
treadwell.
Pete. Is it who's the secretary droid, the white one? I can't think
Yeah.
of his name. Hold on, let me think.
I was thinking of the
Nancy?
the Lin Demolition Tech autonomous mine layer.
That's the dome. Yeah, that's the weird dome one.
That's who I was talking about.
CZ1. CZ1. Look him up
Yeah.
and put him on the screen. He's my favorite because he's so disturbing looking and he shows up hung on a wall in Jabba's palace. But I've always wanted to give a personality to this droid. Yeah, it would be CZ1. What's the other one? The other tall droid.
I love this guy
Yeah, show CZ1.
because he's based on the 3PO like prototype, sort of. Right?
Yeah. He's a Secretary in Business Communications droid. CZ3.
But he's kind of based on the Macquarie.
Can't get him up
we're getting him.
Okay.
Chris, can you throw him up? Yeah, he's got fucking
Googly eyes.
googly eyes.
He's got resting bitch face.
He looks like something from a Rob Zombie video.
Definitely. But imagine that guy, a whole plot with that guy,
Good.
We
Looks
gotta
like a
know.
duck, like Howard the Duck, but a robot.
Kinda, yeah. He kind of has a
Yeah.
Howard like a duck bill.
Yeah.
I think that's the perspective because if we pull a different one, he looks slightly less like a duck. Maybe not.
Wait, is,
Well,
he walking, is he walking around? Is he walking around Mos Eisley as well? Oh.
Yes,
well,
he is. Yes, he
yeah.
is. Yes, he is. He's
I
in
do
the
think it's
background
another
there.
model, or it's another.
Right.
It's a yeah.
Right, it's the same model, but yeah, that's they kept populating the backgrounds with the stuff that they had that they had. R1G4. Look up R1G4. Imagine giving a personality to this guy. See, now I'm pitching my whole idea here. Well, anyways, somebody watch this and hire me.
Yeah, this guy. I like
yeah.
this guy.
Right. I just want to.
Perfect.
I just want an hour-long show
That looks
of
like
just
he-
these
You know what?
droids on the loose, trying to figure shit out.
Rachel,
I feel
don't you
like-
dare, don't you dare say it, Rachel, because Saul will get upset.
I think that I see that, and all I hear is "Danger, Will Robinson."
Oh, okay, thank
it's
God.
very much. Yeah, that's the.
Because
very
I'll
much
tell
the
you
plan.
what, I see it, and I think exterminate.
No,
Oh.
it's not big.
He's
enough
got the
for
little
Adam.
claw
No.
hand.
We're not.
I don't know what
we're
you're
not-
even talking about.
What's
We're not
exterminate? What do you
allowed-
mean
It's
exterminate?
I don't
from
know.
Doctor Who.
The
Trans-
Daleks
Oh,
from
there
There
Doctor
is
Who.
an
Oh,
we're not. We don't talk about Doctor Who in the show.
piece of pop culture I truly do not get. I do not get the appeal of Doctor Who.
Really,
I
felt-
do not understand it at all. The
I would
appeal
agree.
is
Loved it.
not in my grasp. I have
I agree
tried.
with Adam, and that's a perfect way to
Is
end
it because
the
it
show.
sucks? Because that's the old ones. You're like,
it
oh,
has-
it sucks and it's fun.
It has so much heart
It-
that they gave the Doctor two
I-
of them.
I agree with everybody.
Okay.
Adam here. Do you guys have anything to plug? It looks like we're wrapping up the show here tonight on Doctor
We are?
Who.
If we're on to Adam pitches droids on the loose, then we're obviously reached
Are
the
we
end
not?
of the
Are
show.
we not? Are we not doing
We're gonna
calls
go-
tonight?
No, we're not doing calls tonight. Apparently,
No.
I set for the first time. I set this fucking up, and then we're not. Oh, well,
How do you get calls in the show? I want to do that for Paul.
Oh
on the
wait,
show
do we
very
have a specific call we need to get, Saul?
I guess not, but like it was.
Yes, make the call happen.
You know what? Let's do some calls because I got some questions for Adam. Here, Adam.
I want you to answer a few questions.
Saul, do we need to throw the number up, or are you going to send the number to someone specific?
No, we need to throw the number up. I'm on.
Oh, can we throw the number up? Okay. So Adam,
Yeah.
you do a show called the Ford Fiesta podcast.
Well, yes, I do.
Now, this is a show all about Harrison Ford.
It is all about Harrison Ford. We cover every single Harrison Ford movie from the very beginning of his career, which would be Dead Heat in a Merry-Go-Round, through his latest movie, which would be Call of the Wild. But we're only up to More American Graffiti, the 4 movies he did in between Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back. And then we will cover Apocalypse Now with John Kaiser. More American Graffiti was with William Bibiani, and that should be out this weekend, that episode. And Harrison Ford's in that movie for about a minute.
Okay. Now here's my.
But he gets 4 points and shouts in that time. Pull over.
So how can the good fans of the show watch that show or listen to that show?
Listen to that show. You will want to go to any of your podcasting apps. If you like Spotify, we're on there. If you like the iTunes, we're on there, or the podcast app, we're on there. Anywhere you search, or you can go to themovieguys.net, and of course you can stream it straight from the site as well.
Now,
and that's where you can talk to us and say, "Hey, great show, guys."
And is it on YouTube? No.
Yes, Paul puts it. It's the audio only. We do record video of the show. Hey. We're thinking of doing it for a Patreon where you can see the video of us doing the show down the line.
So. Now, Adam, once you've gotten through Call of the Wild and inevitably Indy 5.
And Indy 5, of course.
Harrison's last film, Indy 5.
Yeah. Latest, not last.
Well, I think it will be. It's got to be his last film, right?
Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue.
All right, that's fine. Are you going to move on to Francis Ford Coppola?
No, I haven't even thought already to like what you would move on to that you would enjoy doing. Being a completist, like the idea that I'm not a Harrison Ford completist. That we started the show because there's a lot of late period Harrison Ford. Like when we were kids, like we saw everything Harrison Ford was in, and I realized there's all these holes. Like I haven't seen Ender's Game. I haven't seen, some of these. Yeah,
you're not missing much.
Well, not missing much, but as a Harrison Ford completist, it would be quite rewarding because, hey, there's all these Harrison Ford films. I love watching Harrison Ford. I haven't seen a lot of these. Well, then we decided to start at the beginning, and we realized we haven't seen a majority of his first 11 films, So, pretty cool. So we thought I was thinking Spielberg next, just to get the completist vibe, even though there's only a couple I haven't seen. But we got a long way to go with Harrison Ford.
Now, but you have changed the name of the podcast then.
Oh, from the Ford Fiesta to something else. Siesta, the Spielberg Siesta.
Ooh, how about tip of the Spielberg?
Tip of the Spielberg, just the tip.
We have a caller on the phone to talk about just the tip.
God,
take it away, caller.
All right.
Dagan, you're here on Just the Tip.
What's going on? This is not the show that I thought I was calling into. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, buddy.
Why did you have trouble with your car? Were you trying to call into something where they would give you advice on repairing your car? What do you need? What do you need from us? We can provide any service.
I have duct tape holding up my windows, so.
I thought this was AAA. It's about 5 degrees outside. My car's totally frozen.
Well, get in and stay there.
Where are you calling from, Dagan?
I'm calling from the bitter cold of New England.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about the playoffs last week. No,
are you a Patriots fan, Dagan?
No,
He's a Bengals
I fucking
fan.
hate the Patriots.
He's a Bengals fan.
No, fuck the Patriots. Look, I grew up in New England, and
you said that.
It is just nothing but fucking Red Sox fans and Patriots fans around here, and I just cannot stand it. I'm a hardcore Yankee fan. I like the Jets for some reason, so it's just I hate living around here with these fucking people.
Well, you called in the Star Wars show. Did you have a Star Wars question for us, Dagan?
I did in fact have a Star Wars question for you guys. So I was thinking about the special editions recently. Everybody kind of bitches about the Star Wars special editions that came out in the late 90s. But
People like to complain. They like to feel they're being heard. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, and there's some crap in there for sure. But I was thinking about the Empire Strikes Back recently, and that one is the one I feel like is kind of an improvement over the others. You know, you have the Ian McDiarmid appearance. You have Tamara Morrison.
Get that off
as
the
the voice of Boba Fett. So just curious. Yes, I'm fired. I see that.
Okay, what's your question, Megan?
But I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. Like,
did we like the special edition?
The general feel of the special editions, and if you think Empire is actually an improvement. But yeah, you guys have a great night. Good talking with you.
Thank you,
Dagan. Always a pleasure.
Nice hearing from you, Dagan.
I will say I love most of the special edition changes. Empire, I feel like, has the least impactful of the special edition changes.
It is. It's the subtlest.
But what they did to Cloud City is
huge.
It's so much better. It's so much better. It's just so much better. It's just
so much better.
The Empire Special Edition is damn near flawless.
Right.
And I defy someone to go back and watch it because you can find right now. There's pretty great quality D Special Edition. See, I think the only reason why there's so much angst about the special editions is because the regular editions are gone. Right. I mean, they're not, but like they're not. The fact that you can't get them right now, that's the problem. I think people are fine with the special editions, the same way that people are fine with the 10 different versions of Blade Runner. It's the fact that the originals are gone, and there's parts of the originals that I grew up with that I do kind of miss having better access to or Blu-ray versions of. But
yeah, I bought my very first edition of Apocalypse Now that I've ever bought, and it's all 3 versions. So side by side, I will watch the opening of each one in order just as a fun thing and see the differences are.
Yeah, I've seen all of the versions in very weird orders, I guess, and I just never know which one I'm watching.
Right.
So,
whereas I have the originals burned into my brain. I mean, I can tell you every single difference.
Yeah.
And I will say you are lucky because the special editions came out in 97.
Yeah.
And
I was born in 91, Adam.
No, that's the version you guys know. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw
not missing much.
I actually got to go see, I think it was Return when it got re-released in theaters, and I went to go see that. I think I was 8 or 9.
But that would have been the special edition.
No, it was the original re-released.
Okay.
Before they changed anything. Like, I grew up watching the original versions.
Okay.
And then as they came out, I would watch them, but then I would go back to different ones, and I never knew which one I was watching. So, I mean, I don't really have a complaint about anything. It was.
I'm going to give my unpopular opinion is that Jedi is vastly improved by the changing of the music in both places.
Yes.
Yeah, there's what I was used to, and there's what's better, and that's often confused in critics of the special edition. Is like it's differenter. No differenter. But it's like what does actually work in a better. I mean, I miss Slapty Neck. I miss the Ewok song. I couldn't tell you which one's better. I mean, ending on the Ewok song is pretty stupid.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it's the end of this whole thing and get in with that bullshit. I mean, I never thought of that as a kid, but now if asked to compare the two, it's like. Yeah, that other song was dumb. It's dumb I loved, it's dumb I remember, but it's dumb.
Here's something that I miss from A New Hope, the original. And I would love to see this in 4K one day, or Blu-ray. I love my favorite, A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars film. Maybe my favorite film.
It's
depending on the day, I'll tell you it's my favorite film.
Ditto.
There's some very wonderfully 70s strange shit going on in A New Hope that isn't in there in Empire and Jedi or the prequels.
Right.
And it's a vibe. It's mostly on Tatooine. There's there's a grit and there's a low budget, and I fucking love it. And you used to see it in 70s movies. You used to see it in Logan's Run. You used to see it in Westworld. You used to see these.
Star Wars is a 70s movie. Empire and Jedi are 80s movies.
Yes. Absolutely. And I know it's only 3 years separate them, but they're absolutely a cutoff there. And there's a chasm between them sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's a grit and a wear to them that is kind of, especially the first hour of A New Hope, is kind of gone because Lucas cleaned it up. And I found that very appealing. And I don't hear anyone talk about it. I wish that was... I love weird Star Wars. It's my favorite Star Wars. And a lot of the weird went out in the special edition, and I would like to see cleaner versions of the original cut of that.
Yeah, I do like the 70s indie vibe because it was basically a 70s indie film. I mean, it wasn't... Empire Strikes Back was literally an indie film. He financed the entire movie himself. But Star Wars was this little tiny movie that could, and yeah, it had all that 70s roughness about it. What gets left out of the conversation about the validity of the special editions is how they cleaned those prints up. They look gorgeous. They look better. Yeah. You watch a despecialized edition and you go, oh yeah, because they were color timing it with 1977 technology. Duh. Like they couldn't get it brand spanking new and gorgeous like they can now, and so the color corrections of those things are really awesome.
Yeah, but the counterweight to what I'm saying is the fucking Battle of Yavin in the special edition is so fucking incredible. The Death Star attack is it's amazing, and it still holds up.
All right, I do have to,
and the editing is still the same. One of the problems is the edit of Greedo shoots first. The edit of that is elegant and beautiful, and they mess it up. Because the editing was superior. Anyway,
so I do have to cut us off here because we do have another caller.
All right.
Now I believe.
Hello. Can you say what city he's from? Like we're on a real radio show. Can you say his name and where he's from?
From Brooklyn, New York, just outside the Brooklyn Bridge. We have Maxwell. Maxwell, how you doing tonight?
Max in Brooklyn, you're on the air.
Hi, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I just want to say I think you're all really, really cool, and I'm super nervous to be on the phone with you guys, so just take it easy on me, all right?
Oh, that's okay.
No promises.
I remember my first time, Max.
We won't goof on you.
No, goof away, goof away.
What do you think of all this Boba Fett?
Star Wars. I think I'm in the minority in that I've enjoyed the two most recent episodes more than the first two. The more narrative direction there seems to be, the more I'm enjoying it, and I'm embracing the silliness. Like, I love the Vespa gang and the droid stuff. Like, let Star Wars be silly and fun and childish, and it doesn't always have to be super serious.
It was originally American Graffiti in Space, so I love the kids.
It was, yeah.
I don't mind that gang. I think, and I don't.
No,
I'm willing to believe that they have candy-colored paint job. Like the paint job it's called candy metallics. It's just a paint.
Yeah.
I don't know why they wouldn't have that in Star Wars, but they have every other paint job. I mean, not everything's got to be a satin finish.
Yeah, no, some things aren't left old.
The aesthetic of the Vespa e-scooters is very much in line with what George did with the prequels. I mean, there's always been a heavy 1950s aesthetic. I mean, American Graffiti, like you said, Witt, is what he was obsessed with. It makes perfect sense.
And you get Star Wars version of people with piercings, but they do droid parts. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, oh yeah, these are the punks with it's their version of piercings,
Instead of piercings and tattoos, when you get
if I was on Tatooine and I was looking to get laid, those are the people I would go talk to because
because you don't know what's going to vibrate.
I forget the actress's name already, but again, call me.
Yeah, she's on Yellow Jackets also. She's having a year.
Love her.
Good Joan Jetpack.
Yeah,
Joan
Jetpack.
Yes.
I will say I think the Mod Squad pun is just fantastic.
Oh yeah, it is the Mod Squad modifications.
Yeah, because and Boba even calls him that last episode. He calls him the mod. Get the Mod Squad's coming Tatooine.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So, Maxwell, thank you so much for calling in. Do we have a question?
No. Can I promote something? Can I be a little selfish and Jewish?
You son.
You certain.
Be as Jewish as you'd like.
Hold on, Saul. Now I agree. I hate self-promotion. Follow me on Twitch. But this is something I will approve promotion for.
So tomorrow,
and I think Adam is going to be part of it.
Adam is a part of it. So tomorrow, starting at 6 Eastern, on the Fans View YouTube channel, we're doing a 24-hour stream to raise money for our good friend and FCL competitor Chris Adams. There's so many fun guests, including Adam himself. So come and check us out at any point over the 24 hours. If you have a little extra money to share, it is going to a really good place. Chris needs our help, and this community always comes through, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
I will actually be counter-programming that. Well, I will be trying to raise some cash for Robert Adams, just so he doesn't feel left out.
Robert is the one that ends up getting put through walls during our
stream. After the number of times Chris
listen, you can raise however much you want for Robert, but he's just going to give it to Chris. So that's fine.
Well, that's why I'm paying him in gift cards.
And Maxwell, that starts at what time tomorrow?
It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. And our first guest is Nikki DiMolanta. So if you like Star Wars, she's coming on and talking all about Star
American Treasure, Nikki DiMolanta.
And that is 3 p.m. Western, for those wondering.
Correct.
3 p.m. Pacific.
And run down the schedule, Maxwell. You got a great schedule.
Oh my goodness! So we have Nikki DiMolanta, and then we're doing a video chronic quiz about Detective Pikachu.
Right.
Knopwick is going to come on and do some baking for us.
Yeah, she's going to be baking.
We're going to be doing some late night hanging out with PJ Campbell and Kaiser. So hide your kids.
Right.
We're going to be doing a watch along of La La Land.
Now, Maxwell, I heard that segment has some special guests.
There is definitely a possibility for special guests during the Kaiser and PJ Campbell segment. Absolutely.
And I know someone that's very interested in the movie La La Land and has claimed that he might join in that one as well. Stop by.
Indeed.
I believe.
Indeed. And then, overnight, just playing some games. In the morning, we're doing a chef watch along to start off the day with a little food. We got the movie guys coming on, and I'm sure there'll be humor there.
Breakfast with the movie guys.
Now, Adam, I heard there's some room for some guests on that one, too.
Maybe you heard right then.
Okay.
Yes, we want to involve. We've got ideas that would involve a lot of people. So
call me.
If you guys are going to be around and like watching the stream and stuff, we might bring some people in to do some larger scale bits. So we'll see.
The more the merrier. The more the merrier, as far as we're concerned.
Right on. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Well, thank you for letting me hijack your program for the last 10 minutes. I super appreciate it.
Well, Chris Hall was supposed to already have it queued up, but I think he forgot.
Yeah, I think we've had enough, Chris.
Yeah.
Maxwell, what is your favorite droid that Luke does not buy from the Jawas in Episode 4?
Oh, you need to ask him a harder question because he has his answer tattooed on his body.
Yeah.
So I do have a BB-8 tattoo on my back, but I'm also a big fan of Chopper.
Oh, you mean which? Hold on, I think I misunderstood the question. Yeah. I think we all did. What is your favorite droid from the Sandcrawler that Luke doesn't?
I'll take favorite droid in general. What was the favorite droid in general?
It's a tie between BB-8 and Chopper.
BB-8 and Chopper. Yeah, I like Chopper a lot. The fact that you can have that diverse a personality for any of these droids is impressive to me.
Yeah.
I like Dio because he was very.
Yeah, I was going to say what you will about Rise. Dio speaks to me on a very neurotic Jewish level.
No, thank you. No,
one of the many reasons Rise is amazing.
All the time that I apologize way too much. So when I see Dio, I'm like, oh look, it's me as a tiny robot.
My favorite obscure droid is from the much maligned Star Wars Resistance, and it is Bucket. And it is the So it is the innards of an R2 astromech with a pilot helmet over the sensor.
What is this from?
From the Resistance cartoon.
Okay, right. I have seen the photos of that then because I haven't watched the cartoon.
I'm sorry to hear that, Sean.
Yeah, don't like it, Saul.
No, it's not good. It's
not a good show.
Is that a bad cartoon?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks fucking gorgeous.
Right. That's why I'm drawn in.
It is unwatchable.
And I like the variants on the droids they have and ships and everything. I love the design of the whole thing. But I always keep looking for something I can put on in the background that's Star Wars and everything else sucks me in. So I might just put that on. Not watching, but it's just like Star Wars vibe.
Well, the problem is the voice cast is pretty good.
Oh, okay.
The scripting is terrible, but the voice cast is pretty good. Like Donald Faison's in it. And...
Oh, okay.
It's the only time in canon we've seen the First Order TIE Bomber, which is...
okay, right.
The First Order TIE Bomber is the greatest ship they designed for the sequel era, and we only get to see it one time in this show.
Okay.
So if you're a Starship head like I am,
yeah.
Appealing
I love the B-wing. Did you say B-wing?
No, it's the B-wing is fantastic. But they designed a First Order TIE Bomber that somehow that for some reason they never made it into the films, but for some reason it appeared in an episode of Resistance. It's one of the coolest ships I've ever seen in Star Wars history.
I love TIE bombers. TIE bombers are the snowtrooper of ships.
Sure. I love TIE bombers.
Just enough different kind of makes it awesome.
I agree.
Adam
I
Witt
like
is the snow trooper of humans.
Thank you, Maxwell. Please put that in quotes. I'm the snow trooper of humans.
All right, are we expecting any? Well, Maxwell, I want to thank you again. I hope you raise enough money on your dog fundraiser tomorrow. Totally kidding. No, everyone go.
He's more of a cat.
All right,
I love
again,
the Gucci.
everyone.
Once I'm on Gucciverse, I can't help but be an asshole. So
He's loose. Look out, he's
Thanks,
loose.
Caller, for the show.
You being an asshole is not exclusive to only being on the Gucciverse.
That's
it's pretty
fair.
consistent.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All
Maxwell,
right, love
thank
you, Max.
Always a pleasure.
Thanks for calling in. Everybody, check out the stream tomorrow night.
Yeah, see you tomorrow
Raising
night,
money
Max.
for-
Love you all.
Are we gonna have? Do we have any more callers? Are we waiting for more callers?
I think
That was
I think
the
we're
one
good on callers. That was
the one I set up.
Oh, I was expecting something else.
I think that wraps up the.
I thought you got Harper on the show again, or finally. I mean,
I could get him if you want. I mean,
yeah. Well, maybe next time.
I think that.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything else?
I
to
won't
plug,
share
or-
the screen with that man. Do not bring him in here tonight.
no,
Look.
I sent that. I told Maxwell and Amber earlier. We're doing calls, so that was.
Look, I'm out of the game.
Which I think is nice of me, considering. Anyway.
I'm out of the game, so my false hatred of Harper can stop. Harper's a great guy.
Look, I'm out of the game too, and Sean, we both need to come back for Harper Witt to the okay batch.
You mean Sullivan?
Now, and by the way, and I don't know if anybody knows this, but we hatched this plan, and I'm going to pitch it again, to just overhype as though our first match was the most legendary match of all time. The Witt Sullivan 2, and then just for a month, just press conferences and just build it up like it's the biggest damn thing.
it would be amazing.
It'd be so much fun.
All right.
Your
would be
first
a
match
great
was
match.
excellent.
I
For the
look-
record.
It was, right?
I agree.
It was great.
Yeah.
Well, that looks like it wraps up the show tonight. We will see you all next time. Welcome to the Gucciverse. Check out that stream tomorrow night. We'll see you.
No, we're not going yet. I will be. I'm not done. Tomorrow on Twitch, on the Schmodown Twitch channel, I will be with Kate Mulligan, Winston Marshall, and Brett Sheridan.
Ooh.
I will be on SEN Live with some
And you're the
great
host.
people. No, Kate Mulligan is the host. I am the guest, as I was this morning. I was the guest this morning. And so, yeah, it's SAUL Live on Twitch on the Schmodown channel. Join us tomorrow.
Saul, give
Will do.
Kate my love. She won't return my text anymore.
Well, she doesn't return mine either, but that's fine.
Those are called clues. So
Those are called hints.
she returns my text all the time.
Take one.
Because I don't mention your texts. So that's...
Well,
anybody
I'm not a
else have-
leash, so I don't know.
Does anybody else have anything else to plug? Sean, Witcher, Twitch, Rachel,
No,
cruising on
I'm
the high seas.
just here.
All
Just
right.
doing
Well,
this.
that takes us out, everybody. You'll see Adam Witt on the streams. You'll see Sean on SEN Live tomorrow. You see us around the Gucciverse, everybody. We'll
Hey, well.
see you.